Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. Let's go ahead and jump back to what happened here yesterday. And we had a pretty sweet little market. So I did not mark the open, but we had the open right here at 8:30 Central Time. And as you can see, a lot of weakness in the market. Bulls struggle to keep the price above the previous daily high, and then we started getting rejections from the VWAP there. And there is like a nice quadruple top there, if you will, on the short time frames, and then the rejection, right? So there were some good opportunities there, maybe about 45 minutes after the open there, unless you went ahead and just got short and grabbed this first nice little healthy pullback. But really, a lot better opportunities once price started to break outside of this opening range, if you will, right? So we got a nice healthy pullback to start the morning, held VWAP. Unfortunately, did not come back and tag the back end of the 200 there, missed it by about a point. And then you got your opportunity to try a short off the back end of the 200 in a bearish market, right? So they did come down and go ahead and hold right off of our expected support there at 52.76.75. But when that happened, they came right into the 200 and just could not get through, right? And from there, we got the continuation lower. Interestingly enough, another bounce right off of our next roadmap level, a little bit lower there, and then another rejection right off the 200. In fact, there were 3 tags to the tick here where you could have continued to short the market, and then what do you know, the low of the day to the tick is our roadmap level, our scaffolding at 52.47. We've had that on the chart there for months. So beautiful, healthy sell-off coming out of the open yesterday. Let's make sure this is marked right. A little bit messy out of the open, as you can see, but then we hold VWAP. We start to sell off. There were some aggressive opportunities on the way down. Bounced off our first swing level, could not get through the 200, and then some more great opportunities to the downside to find the low of the day off of our roadmap level, and then get a nice reverse of phase here for a bullish bounce out of into the close of yesterday. And as you can see, as price started to appreciably break out from the last swing high, then we had a bunch of great opportunities to buy the pullback into the 200 here for the push higher, right? So yes, it did go through here by about 2 points, but then every other test here, once, twice, and 3 times, you could have got in with very, very limited risk, and depending on where you got in, captured 20, 30, maybe even 40 points, right? Let me just make sure. Yeah, probably closer to about 30 points max, but maybe 20, 25, 10, 15, all the way up. And then interesting to note that on the way down, the bears came right into that swing and found the largest bounce of the sell-off here. And then as price came back up into that area, came right to our swing level here. And for 3 tests, we're getting rejections, right? So this was a great level that we added to the chart, I believe, in the pre-market there yesterday. And then from there, we get the breakout, and not too interestingly, some problems there at VWAP. So you even had some short opportunities there. And then the pullback, you should have known to take profit just around the 200. So maybe you got 4 to 5 points out of that if you tried it. And that's kind of how yesterday played out. We got a continuation all the way up, and then the high at the end of the day, right at the holy orange power level. I mean, it came up, gave it a kiss, and then pulled back here. So pretty easy day if you ask me. If you got in on some of these levels or on some of the moving averages, you had some very low risk but high reward, if you will, right? So let's go ahead and see what happened here in the overnight session. Not too interestingly enough, I guess, we're rejecting right at the scaffolding level above now, and price tested it here, tested it twice, tested it 3 times, and then you can see the failure off the back end of VWAP here, and now price is starting to get a little bit of a retracement of the bounce from the end of yesterday. And when that happened, guys, last night, you know, market opened here for the Globex session and just kind of meandered. It's getting rejections off of the scaffolding there. And there's that hold off the back end of the VWAP. Here's our crossover. And then here's that textbook tag of the 200 right to it, right? So you had an opportunity here probably in the middle of the night or very early morning, but another textbook. I mean, how many times do we talk about this throughout the week? Seeing a strong failure, seeing the crossover, seeing price get below the VWAP, and then tag in the back end of the 200. We know we have limited risk here for this trade setup. So even if it doesn't work out, we know we're wrong within 2 or 3 points. We can get out and look for our next trade. So pretty awesome opportunity there in the middle of the night last night. And as you can see, kind of rode the FMA, and now here we are coming into the open, and they were trying to hold below 50% of last week. That is that magenta line kind of sitting right at our scaffolding level. So they tried to hold below it here in the overnight session a couple times, and now you can see now that they got above it. So bam, bam, and then finally we get through it, pull it back, and now we're kind of holding it here to the upside. So a good thing for the bulls, right, to be above 50% of last week, and then ideally hold up above 50% of yesterday. So we'll see what happens as we get into the open here. We're going to jump up to the higher time frames, see if they have any clues as we get into the open here this morning. So let's go ahead and jump up to those higher time frames.